Okay, that's what I put on there. It says, look, we'll be on YouTube this afternoon. To find out who and why, watch YouTube First Time Machine Seabird Remix. The last one says, warning, the Surgeon General has declared calling my mama a bitch is hazardous to your health. We'll be back this afternoon to turn myself in after it's on YouTube, JW. And if the news media want to know the address, it's 539. I know a lot of folks thinking, well, you go to jail. What? One good thing about it, I get to see a friend of mine, Little Robert. But I gotta go before the police come up. I'm breaking this YouTube video down in 3 different parts because I'm gonna call this certain group of people up, and I'm calling them up on their job. They might not have a lot of time on their hands, and you know, when I call them up, say, hey, will you watch this that only consists of a few minutes? And they do, and it catches their eye. And those people are the Talladega County Sheriff Department. And I'd like to thank a deputy named Stan, you know, well, for one day, man, for being, you know, a real cool cop, man. And everybody that knows this guy likes him, you know. And if this man wanted to be sheriff, all he'd have to do is run for it, you know. Again, thank you for not being something like Frankie Wallace and Jeff Mobbs. And another thing is letting me give Bobby a piece of my mind that day in that video. Because, you know, I know a lot of smart-ass cops have been like, hey, will you shut up? But here's something to think about, Bobby. You know the reason why he was letting me do it? Maybe he was agreeing with me. Wow, because, you know, he's been on some of them calls we'd have to call about your renters, okay? Another group of people is the news media, such as Todd from 3340. Hey, cuz, you remember my first idea I told you I had about taking construction paper and 3M and sticking it to a sheetrock wall in his garage? I got a better idea now, cuz this way I get advertisement for my YouTube videos. And to the lady from 42 News that did an interview with me on the Kratom, the herbal pain reliever, Miss Lee Gardner, I think that's how you pronounce your last name. I apologize that I can't remember your name, ma'am, but the only thing I can remember about this lady, that she was extremely sweet. And another thing is, when she stepped out of that news van, because she was a very beautiful lady. If y'all decide that y'all would like to do a story on this YouTube video, there's a couple questions I would like for y'all to go ask Mr. Judge Larry Ward, okay? Now check this out. The very first time I got busted with a little bit of, you know, wacky-tobacco, my lawyer, Greg Woods, told me, Jeff, okay, these are the options. And one of the things that he told me was, if I plead guilty to possession charge, right, he told me that it was going to be mandatory 6 months probation, and it's going to be a misdemeanor charge. The next time I get busted, it's going to be a felony, right? Check this out. I went before Judge Larry Ward in Chillisburg, Alabama, right, with 3 different pot charges. Guess what happened to me? I paid a fine, walked out the door. Why wasn't I put on probation? And another thing too is, why didn't a DUI show up in Montgomery? See, I believe, and a lot of folks also believe in Chillisburg, Alabama, that Robert Harris, Frankie Wallace, and Judge Larry Ward was all in together, robbing the city of Chillisburg. And another thing too, you know, Larry Ward was also a judge in Harpersville, and at one time, Harpersville was a speed trap, just like Chillisburg, to make money. And also there was a news story about Harpersville being on the news. I can't really remember it, but it was something about extortion. And another thing too, when Robert Harris was in the mayor's office of Chillisburg, there was a addition built to the city hall, right? There was a write-up in the Daily Home that thing costed around $1 million. And Miss Lee, if you remember the size of my mom's house, right? Because we did an interview in front of it. That thing wasn't much bigger than my mama's house. There is no way on God's green earth that there was $1 million spent there. And another thing, about that thing, it was built with inmates. That's illegal. You got to be a licensed, bonded contractor to do something like that. Makes you wonder, where did the money go to? Maybe in their pocket. But if y'all decide that y'all would like to do a news, story about this, I'd like to ask the news media to build a time machine to go back in time, right, to figure up how much the materials costed to build that thing and see what it comes up to. I bet you it don't come up to $100,000. Yep, this YouTube video is also about my aunt's husband, and I don't acknowledge him as my uncle, Bobby Green, that goes to church claiming to be a saint, but this video narrows it down to two options. Either he's a complete dumbass or he's satanic. But, and plus, check this out, news media. This man had a trailer park. It was a burden for him and my aunt to run this, right? A mental hassle. So they had a bright idea of buying this property beside my mama and putting rental trailers on it, and gave my mama the receipt book and said, "Will you run this for me?" But you know what? You made me realize what I got in my mom, because a lot of folks would have told you no, but, a lot of folks say, my mama's crazy for doing that. You do not dare call my mama crazy or dumb, okay? Because she's got a son that ain't dealing with the full decking of jokers are wild. But no, really, what it showed me is how sweet my mom is to go around trying to help somebody out. She did that trying to help them out. What they done, they have took an advantage of my mama's kindness. But, we've had several problems out of some of the renters over there. But the biggest troublemaker was this guy named Robert Lambar. But check out what this cat did one night. He could have killed my cousin Ricky with a baseball bat. What it was, he hit Ricky in the mouth with a baseball bat. Luckily, it did knock Ricky out, but Ricky was able to stop the bleeding, but blood just started pouring out of his mouth. But what if he knocked Ricky out? Ricky could have bled to death. And another thing is, too, you remember Miss Lee? You remember I pointed that thing out to you, and you were tripping because it was so close to my mama's house, right? Robert would get out there and he would just scream out the F word, when he was talking to his kids or just out there being drunk. And, we have kids that like to come over there and visit with their Aunt Jackie and play in the yard. Because you remember that swing that was out there in front, right? Because you asked me, do I have any kids? And I said, no, we have kids that come over there. Excuse me, Miss Lee. But, and another thing too, Robert threatened to do bodily harm to me. But you know what? And plus, Bobby did too. But since I've got this time machine built, they don't run that smart-ass mouth no more. But you know what? I really want to appreciate the blessing, because you know what? I looked at it like, wow. But then, I realized, it was a blessing for them to threaten to do bodily harm to me, because y'all ain't gonna believe what the girls are rapping about me since I done got this time machine built to kick off in their booty.
How you get all of that in them jeans, how you get all of that in them damn girl, how you get all of that?
Is you talking to me?
Yeah, you. I bet you had to jump up and down just to put them on. Bet you had to wiggle around just to put them on. Bet you had to lay back on the bed just to sip them up. Am I right? You right,
baby,
that's what's up.
Yeah, speaking of fighting, See, I've been working on this YouTube video for about 4 months now, right? I did not shoot this thing in order. The very first clip I ever shot was showing trash on the back of Bobby Green's rental trailer. The next clip I shot was, I think, 2 clips prior of me clearing leather with a pistol. But there's one clip in there I'm challenging 4 guys to a cage fight, to me wearing gloves and to them wearing no gloves. They're bare-fisted, and I want them all 4 at the same time. I said something about magically coming up with $10,000, but I'd like to ask the news media, see what y'all maybe could do, making a few phone calls, calling SBN or something like that, and possibly maybe rounding up, say, $500,000 or even $1 million to give to these guys right here, a piece, you know, to get in a ring with me. And another thing, see if y'all can, and if y'all can get the money, another thing too is borrowing Boutwell Auditorium too, okay? But I know a lot of folks are thinking, you know, this guy's up here trying to sound like a badass. No, I realize I'm not a badass, okay? I'm nothing, okay? But let me put it like this. These guys go around, they run their mouths imitating a badass, but in all reality, these guys ain't nothing but a bunch of popsicles, and y'all find out what I mean by the word popsicle. But, you know, it goes back to me, you know, not being a badass. They have got a chance of kicking my ass, you know. But I can imagine if they do start kicking my ass, my fans crying, such as Chrissy, her little sister Jitterbug, and my little buddy and my cuz Travis. But on a different note, if I'm kicking their ass, I'm not going to stop until I hear certain words. And another thing is, people on the outside walking by the Boutwell Auditorium is going to think it's a Chingy concert going on in Birmingham, Alabama, because my fans are going to be rapping. Now, if the Talladega County Sheriff Department or the news media would like to call Mr. Bobby Green and ask him some questions about what I done, I'm about to give you his phone number.
I'm calling up a pussy, it's time to get to ripping. I'm freaking each sunroof to keep you suckers tripping. Everybody's looking, if you're jealous, turn around. The AMG kick keeps us closer to the ground. We're getting good grip from the 50 series tires. The Alpine's bumping, but I need the volume high.
Okay, check this out, people. Does that look familiar? Maybe it's that sign that y'all seen at first, right? Because this is proof that I did it, because you seen it first in my house, you know. And there's my hardwood floor right there. See, a long time ago, you know, a while back, you know, Bobby gave me a Bible, and I want to give it back to him. If the news media decide that they want to do a story about this, I want to give that Bible to y'all and give it back to him, you know, saying, hey man, you might need to read this thing, because, you know. But anyway, if I don't hear from y'all, what I'm gonna do, I'll get it to him. But anyway, I'll let y'all wonder what I'm gonna do. But it will be documented on YouTube. But I would like to dedicate this video to, you know, to the folks, especially of Childersburg, Alabama, you know, that got defended by Larry Ward or Bobby or Troy, but, you know, wanted to say something, but didn't have the guts to do it. But anyway, this video and this bud's for you, cuz.
Could be holding you tonight. Could be doing wrong, starting tonight. You don't care about what I think I'll just stay here and pray. Hey, putting you back.
Yeah, I forgot to also throw in there Robert Lambar, Frankie Wallace, and Robert Harris. But anyway, speaking of Merle Haggard, I got something in common with that man. A loving mama that really cares. That, deserves better than what she's receiving. you know. But anyway, the difference between me and Merle is I turned 41 doing 4 and hoping for SRP. Now tell them what you did, Merle.